Welcome back to The Narrative. I'm your storyteller, Callistra Farrier. Of heroes and martyrs in the country that is finally sitting up and saying they belong to us. October 19 being declared a national holiday in Grenada and National Heroes and Martyrs Day. It is a designation that has been a 4-decade-long struggle by those who support Maurice Bishop and the Grenada Revolution, asking that a government legitimize that day and bring it into the mainstream. That is happening now under the NDC-led, Deacon Mitchell-led administration in St. George's. October 19 been declared a public holiday. Joining me now on The Narrative is Valerie Gordon, a revolutionary activist, a former leader in the Center for Popular Education, which was one of the flagship projects of the PRG government back then, 1979 to 1983. She's also a member of the National Women's Organization, one of the strongest organizations in Grenada in forever, as well as a member of the National Youth Movement. And we know what role the youth played in the Grenada Revolution and Grenadian politics at that time. So she's joining me now. I'm going to get her reaction on the country finally declaring October 19 National Heroes Day, and we seem to be heading down a road where Maurice Bishop will be named one of our first national heroes. Welcome to the program, Val.
Thank you, Callistra. Thank you very much.
It's good to have you back. We did this a year ago, and we spoke extensively on the Center for Popular Education, and it was an education for me. One of the proudest things that we have achieved as a country, bringing the literacy level up to where we got to, and you know, we must lament now the fact that it's sliding again. But we're talking today about the fact that we are now having an acknowledgement, an official acknowledgement of October 19. Governments have been sort of easing into it and attending the vigils at Fort George, formerly Fort Rupert, but there has not been a sort of mainstreaming of the day. That must make you feel really happy to hear that October 19 is going to be a holiday. And not just because it's going to be a rest day.
Yes, Callistra. Good morning to all your viewers and listeners. It is, you know, a huge accomplishment for Grenada to finally nationally recognize the importance of October 19th in our history. I want to separate October 19th, though, from the National Heroes recognition and honoring. Because if you listen to a lot of the conversations that are going on, and maybe in your own opinion, October 19 has special significance. But October 19th seemed to be characterized, or is characterized, primarily as tragic because of the tragedy that took place, the scope and scale of that tragedy. So the reason I'm separating it is because I want us probably to ask ourselves, do we want to characterize the honoring of national heroes? Because as I understand it, national heroes is much broader than just the heroes of October 19th. So do we want to characterize all our national heroes by the events of October 19th? And that's my first question.
So Val, do you feel like maybe the government is grabbing a hot potato but not really holding on to it first we saw that they were planning to marry the day with the launch of our 50th anniversary celebrations, which is supposed to be a fireworks occasion. And we were linking that with a candlelight vigil occasion. Of course, that was shot down with mass disagreement from the population, and they thought better of it and changed that. And now we're also seeing, well, the 19th has become National Heroes and Martyrs Day. but we're looking at the events of October 19 and what it means and the recognition and the treatment that it needs to get. Do you feel like that is being hidden behind and inside this whole National Martyrs and Heroes Day? Do you think they really should have made October 19 that day? Is it taking away from the meaning of October 19?
I'm not sure I'm in a position to answer that question now. I think a lot more debate and conversation needs to happen about it. What I feel very strongly about though, is the fact that this government has made that gigantic step in the right direction of having the nation recognize this issue for the first time at this scale, um, and confront it, because we've been avoiding it. I think at the cost of the healing that our nation needs to still have, right? Whether it should be on October, I think October 19th in a way opens the door, because there's already a lot of issues around heroes who died or were killed on that day. So it may be a natural point of entry to look at the issue of our heroes, because that is already recognized in the way that it is. Now, mind you, I also want to put forward that in our country, in hindsight, we recognize that there are many people who don't celebrate the heroes of our revolution as their heroes. As in any country, as in any situation, you won't have everybody feeling the same way. So that's part of why there is this debate. However, use the 19th as an entry point because of the scale of what happened and the fact that there are national heroes to be recognized, one. And two, contrasted by the fact that on October 25th, we have a national holiday for the heroes of the American soldiers, or whatever you want to call them, who were here.
Well, I'm very surprised, Val, that you use the word heroes when talking about the American soldiers, though. That's
maybe,
surprising.
as I said, maybe that's why I corrected myself and said,
okay.
Well, in their view, let me be very clear. In their view, they are heroes because they have put up a
monument. Yeah, they've got this monument at the airport.
Recognize them as heroes. So not necessarily my personal heroes, but in the national interest, in the national scheme of recognition, they are being recognized. But we have not recognized our own. In that sense, I mean.
And do we, there's this debate about what the revolution was, what it meant, what Morris Bishop was. Do you think that you talk about some people do not recognize? There may be some people who feel that even if we are acknowledging national heroes and martyrs, that Morris Bishop or anyone from his group does not qualify for that. I mean, why would Morris Bishop qualify to be a national hero, in your view?
Because of his contribution to Grenada, along with his colleagues in the leadership of the New Jewel movement. And Calistro, the same applies to Eric Matthew Gary. There are a lot of Grenadians who do not recognize Eric Matthew Gary as a hero, right? Do not recognize his contributions. We vehemently oppose him being recognized for his contributions based on their experience. Similarly, too, for the heroes of the revolution that some segments of the population treat with in that way, you are going to have some opposition from those who don't believe or don't feel, or based on their experience, don't share that view.
We declaring October 19 a public holiday is just the first window dressing, I believe, on this issue. What would you like to see happen going forward that will really give acknowledgement to the day and to place it within context and to situate it within the Grenadian history? What would you like to see done? What's the next step? My son isn't learning about this in school. My sons are not learning about this in school, which is kind of sad.
I said, first of all, one of the things that I think is going to make a massive difference to the value and the recognition of October 19th is the return of the bodies of Morris Bishop and his colleagues so that our people can treat with them in the way that we traditionally do, bury your dead, be able to visit in the case of some people afterwards and recognize that. So there has, that issue remains unresolved. So that's one thing. The other thing is that once you come to talk about recognition of heroes, you would have to devise a system of criteria by which people are selected and credited in that way. And I think declaring October 19th a national holiday gives it the kind of status that encourages the conversation about our national heroes, who they are, what they contributed, makes it even more possible to teach our children and to motivate them to become like them or to learn from their experiences. So those are two key things I think the declaration of October 19th as a national holiday would do. And of course, in addition to recognizing our own in the way that the Americans have recognized their own for the 25th, because we recognize the American soldiers and so, or the invasion on the 25th, but we don't recognize our own.
This is The Narrative. I'm on with Valerie Gordon-Williams. We're discussing October 19, its designation as a national holiday in Grenada and National Heroes Day. More when we come back.